Smackdown starts off with a United States Championship match between LA Knight versus Andrade. This was an overall really solid match, but LA Knight does end up picking up the victory. There was a botch towards the end when LA Knight tried to do his signature top rope move. He did botch the move, but it's wrestling. Things like that happen. But LA Knight did pick up the victory, retaining his US Championship. After the match, Andrade and LA Knight had this weird thing where Andrade wanted to shake his hand, but LA Knight wanted to do a fist bump. And for some weird reason, LA Knight didn't want to do the handshake. He kept trying to do the fist bump. I don't know if that was part of the thing or they just had miscommunication. I don't know what was going on there, but that was just very weird. I was very confused what was happening. I don't know if that was on accident or on purpose. After the match, Carmelo ends up approaching Andrade, and he basically ends up talking trash. He was like, "Look, if that was me, that wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have lost. I would have got the job done." Andrade ends up shoving Carmelo, and then they end up brawling. This was really good. Very short, simple, straight to the point. I love this. You didn't, not everything needs to be, 5 to 10 minutes to understand or get what you're trying to portray on the TV. They got exactly what they needed. And next week, they're going to have a match, which Carmelo most likely will win to tie the series up. And then whenever they have their seventh match, that will be the final match, the final blow-off match, and I can't wait. Now we get to the main thing on the show. Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, their little segment on the football stadium. This was great. From start to finish, this was, I know the word gets thrown around a lot, but this was absolute cinema. This was. Starts off with Roman Reigns. He basically ends up saying that everything is mine. Everything around here is mine. The WWE, even this feud, everything is mine. He reflects back to playing in Atlanta. Ends up saying that even the stadium is his, the city is all his. Then he ends up asking, what has Cody done for the city? Cody ends up saying that his family bled, put their heart and soul into the city, and that you just play football here. And he says that this is always going to be his home. Then Roman ends up responding back to Cody, ends up saying that he signed up for a lose-lose situation at Bad Blood. He's going against people that have nothing to lose. He starts mentioning himself and says that he has nothing to lose. They took everything from him. They took the bloodline from him. They took Jimmy. They took Paul Heyman. They took the tribal chief label. He has nothing to lose. He has everything to gain. Then Cody ends up responding, and he ends up saying that he's not sure that Roman has nothing to lose, because he ends up saying that what happens if he can't beat the bloodline? Who is Roman Reigns? He starts, because his whole persona is being the tribal chief, being the head, being, top guy. But he said that if you lose, well, we already have a tribal chief, which is Solo, and we already have a WWE champion, which is me. So if you lose, what are you? Because you ain't neither of those things, which was very good. And then he ends up reflecting on what he told him before WrestleMania, ends up saying that you will be all alone and you would just be a chief without a tribe. This was great. This was amazing. But then Roman ends up kind of accepting that Cody was right. He was frustrated. He starts doing the thing with like his mouth and all that. But he ends up just asking him, what does Cody want? And Cody ends up saying that he just wants his word at Bad Blood, that they would have each other's back, and they agree. But Roman did say that after Bad Blood, that he will be hunting Cody for that WWE Championship. So, of course, I love this. They made it clear that they both don't like each other, but they're just going after a common enemy, which makes total sense. And I know it's probably not going to happen at this year's WrestleMania, but it's going to happen. They're doing Cody versus Roman Part 3. I don't think they're going to do it for the third year in a row. Well, actually, if The Rock don't show up, they're probably doing it for the third year in a row. But if The Rock don't show up, they're definitely doing it. They'll do it this year, but they will do this match eventually. They're doing a Part 3 to this match. They have to. And I'm all for it. I wouldn't be mad if they did it 3 years in a row. I really wouldn't. This is one of the best segments they had together in general in their entire rivalry. This was amazing. I love everything they did here. Now we end up getting a quick match between Giovani and Apollo. It started off good early on with Giovani getting the upper hand, dominating, but then shortly after, Apollo did the same thing he did last week, and he ended up getting another roll-up pin to pick up the victory. After the match, Giovani gets frustrated and ends up attacking Apollo from behind, just beating him down, and that's the end of the segment there. I don't know what the end goal is here, but I do have slight interest because I do want to see, because I didn't think Giovanni should have got kicked out of the pyramid in the first place, but but we're here now. But also, I wonder where was Baron Corbin at, because I know Baron Corbin and Apollo was a tag team. I don't know. They're just gonna stop that tag team, I'm guessing, because Baron Corbin hasn't been on TV in a while, so I'm assuming they just stopped that whole angle. So we'll see how this story plays out. Now we get Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens was about to cut a promo. He was about to talk about how he felt about, Cody Rhodes teaming up with Roman Reigns. But of course, he ends up getting interrupted by the Bloodline. The Bloodline comes out. They did say a couple of words, but it was no point of giving them a microphone, if I'm being honest. They come out, attack Kevin Owens. Then DIY comes out and they end up making a save. Then Nick Aldis ends up coming out to make it a six-man tag match between DIY and Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline. But later in the show, plans end up changing. They end up getting replaced by the Street Profits later in the show. Now we end up getting Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton versus Naomi and Bayley. The stipulation is whoever, if Nia or no, if Nia Tiffany wins, whoever gets pinned between Bayley and Naomi, they gotta leave SmackDown. But whoever gets the pin on Tiffany or Nia, they get they get the title opportunity at Bad Blood. This match overall was fine. It had moments where it was good, but it also had moments where it was just boring. So I'm very mixed on the match, but overall, it did have some interesting spots. Like it was a spot where Bayley went for a pin, but Naomi ended up pulling her Bayley off because she wants the title opportunity at Bad Blood. But towards the end of the match, we get a sequence where Bayley is underneath Nia Jax, and then Naomi ends up doing like some weird like bridge pin, but then Bayley ends up holding Nia Jax's arms at the same time, giving her the pin as well. They both pin Nia at the same time for the 1, 2, 3, and they end up picking up the victory. It was a little, so we get left hanging a bit. Who's going to be the one facing Nia and Nia Jax at Bad Blood? But then afterwards, Nick Aldis ends up, they have their segment in his office, and he ends up having them have a match next week on SmackDown, to see who will be the number one contender for Nia Jax. I don't really like this. I kind of wish they would have just made it a triple threat match, if I'm being honest. Now they probably would still figure out a way to do that regardless. Maybe it could be a DQ finish, but me personally, I wish they would just made it a triple threat to make it more entertaining. It looks like they are planting the seeds of Bayley and Naomi. It's gonna be Naomi turning heel. It doesn't make sense for Bayley to turn heel. She just got off her heel run not that long ago. So it looks like Naomi may turn heel, which I'm cool with because she needs something new. But kind of wish they would just make it a triple threat match, if I'm being honest, because I do not want to see a one-on-one match between Bayley and Nia or Naomi, in my personal opinion. I'd just rather see a triple threat match, in my opinion. Now we end up getting a very interesting vignette with Chelsea Gray. This segment, she was in this garbage area, picking up garbage, taking trash out. And this segment was basically to insult Michin, to basically call her trash. She dressed up a dummy with Michin's like face and start beating it up, throwing it in the dumpster. This segment reminded me of something that NXT would do. This reminded me somewhat of Tiffany Stratton and Family Henley when Tiffany Stratton went to the farm and was getting the farm experience. This kind of reminds me of that because Chelsea Green she was acting kind of similar to Tiffany Stratton to a degree in the way that she was interacting with the garbage and all that, the same way how Tiffany had to interact with the animals and all that. This reminded me of that. This feels like something that NXT would do, so I was very shocked that on the main roster they did something like this, because this gave me NXT vibes. Like this gave me something that NXT would do. But this was overall okay segment. I wasn't as entertained as I was with Tiffany Stratton, but this was overall decent. I'm excited for the feud though. Now we get to the main event. Bloodline, early, before the match started, they end up attacking DIY. Then they come out. They end up jumping Kevin Owens again. This led to the Street Profits replacing DIY. They end up coming in, making a save, making it until of course, the six-man tag match. The match ends in disqualification. I didn't even watch the match because I knew exactly how it was going to end. Ends in disqualification, and basically everyone gets packed up by the Bloodline. Everyone gets packed up by the Bloodline. DIY tries to come back out. They get packed up, but then Cody Rhodes ends up coming out, making the save. He took forever to come out. He ends up actually taking out Jacob Fatu, which was very surprising. Hit a Cody cutter on him. And then while he's talking to the Bloodline, talking trash, Kevin Owens is right behind him and it looks with his steel chair, and it looks like he's about to attack. It looks like he's about to attack. It's building up. Everyone's wondering, is he about to attack? But then Cody Rhodes looked behind him and he doesn't attack. He drops the chair and they end up hugging. So they end up teasing the heel turn once again, which is very interesting. Overall, this was an okay show. It had moments that I liked, but then it was moments where it was just very dull and very boring. But it was an okay show overall. But I am interested in see when is KO turning heel, because it looks like that's basically, I thought they was going to stop at the heel turn, but it looks like they're still going with it. So interested to see how this plays out. But overall, okay show. The main thing was just Cody and Roman. That segment was amazing. I can't wait until they have another match, or at least when they start interacting again after they deal with this whole solo fake tribal chief thing. But overall, okay show. You guys let me know your opinions down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, that's it.